What's up YouTube? What's up everyone? I'm back with another video and today we're going to talk about The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I'm gonna tell you right now, I think this is the way of making a prequel. Let's dive in, shall we? So The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a prequel that follows Cornelius Snow to his ascension. This movie is set 80 years before the original Hunger Games with J. Law. We see a young Snow, and honestly, I'm gonna start with that. I think this was a very nice Snow. Like, I think the main character is really great, and that's thanks to Tom Blyth. He was fantastic in this movie. He really sold me on his performance. Like, I think like he really did a good job with his character. He really understood the nuance of Snow, and that I really felt it during the whole movie, and I loved it. Like, that's one of the biggest yes for me. My second point, like, that I love about this movie, is actually related to Snow, is the ascension of a villain. So usually, like, what sometimes I'm skeptical about prequels is that they kind of want to make you like, they take a villain and they really want to force you to believe that they were just broken and they had a hard life and that's why they became villains. But you know, in those prequels, they're not really villains. But here, you can still see his nuance, you know, like, he's still bad sometimes. Like, he still thinks of himself. He's a selfish guy at when he needs to be. But that's also, like, caused from society, from the needs. And so that's why, like, I like that they weren't shy to show that Snow was a bad person as well. He was always scheming something. Like, he was always like looking for himself first before everyone. You can see the ambiguity of Snow. Usually prequels, what they want to do is just they want to show you a traumatized character who became a villain, but this one kind of doesn't do really that trope, you know. Like, they show you everything from him, every good side of him and every bad side of him, so you have both of his qualities there, and you can see like why he became Snow, why, like, the Snow we know after, why he was like this. And that was like something that I really appreciate about this movie. Another great thing I have to talk, it's the acting. This movie has some great acting. Of course, Tom Blyth, Rachel Zegler. I think she really delivers with her acting. I did like her quite a bit, but my MVP has to be Viola Davis. Oh my God, she made a great role here. First of all, the script was great for her, and she delivers those lines with something so malicious, but it was so good. It was satisfying to hear and to see. So yeah, seriously, Viola Davis was great. I really like also Peter Dinklage. He really did a great job with his performance as well. I really enjoyed seeing like how was the early Hunger Games, you know, like the 10th edition of Hunger Games, how primitive, if we can say like this, it was, you know, how early stages it was. And that was really cool to see, like, how the low quality technology was there, like how it was just an arena first of all, and you fight there and that's it, you know. Like, that was way different than what we had with Katniss Everdeen. You didn't even have water and stuff like that, so you didn't even have supplies. And that was really fun to see, like, the early stages of the Hunger Games. That I really appreciated that touch, and that was really cool to see. And also, like, the aesthetic of the world, you know, like, it was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of a little bit the 40s, the 50-ish, you know. That was really a cool vibe to see. Another thing I wanted to touch before I go to the things I kind of like least, it's of course the costumes. Like, that was really great. I mean, every costume of the scholars, like, were fantastic. That imposing red was really great. Viola Davis was fantastic. Like, everything she was wearing was always great, creepy, malicious, but very effective and to the point of why she was amazing. I love Viola Davis in this movie so much, seriously. So yeah, the costumes were very great for me. Also, I really loved the dress of Rachel Zegler. That was really great. So overall, the costume department did a phenomenal job in this movie, and I have to point that out because it was amazing. So I have some things that I wish been done better, or things that I had some issues. So one of the first thing is, I wish we could have seen another district than District 12, because once again, this movie is really influenced in District 12. One of our main protagonists is from District 12, so we never talk about the other districts. We just mention them. We have some a little bit of character development of the others, but not really too much. So basically, we don't care about the other districts except District 12. We had 4 movies about District 12. it would have been great to finally see other districts because we don't know about the others, and that's something I think they kind of missed here. Another thing I didn't really find too appealing was the Hunger Games were really short, and that's something like the Hunger Games aren't really that important in this movie. At least that's how I feel, because I think the most important thing is what is going on behind the Hunger Games, rather what's going on in the Hunger Games. I don't know, I wish I could have seen a bit more of the Hunger Games and really feel that 10th edition. So another thing I don't really like about this movie, it's honestly the third act. I think like this movie wanted to do too much with Snow. Like, it's one movie, you can't just do everything, like you can't just show everything to your audience, you know, about Snow. Like, you save some stuff, you know. And I feel like especially the third act, that's where I was like, damn, like, I don't know. First of all, I felt like there was some pacing issues, and also like I was kind of getting bored. It was still interesting, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I don't know, it kind of felt a bit disconnected from what we were seeing in chapter 1 and 2. So that's why chapter 3, I don't know, it's kind of, first of all, it was really long as a chapter, and I just, like, many times, I think like 3 times, I thought the movie was going to end. It was still going. I'm like, oh my god, like, when is it going to end? Because like it was starting to drag a little bit, but also like, do you think it's the ending and it's still not the ending? And I think like I didn't like that part because, like I said, they were trying to do everything with Snow, like show you everything that he was going to be, you know, like why he became more evil, and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm not sure about that, seriously. But overall, I would just wanted to say that this movie, I think this is the recipe of how you make a prequel, because the ending, you don't know what happened to Rachel Zegler, and if they never do a sequel, you don't need to know. It's just like, okay, it's your interpretation. Also, you have the ascension of Snow. You don't need to know anything else. Like, the guy, he's going to become President Snow, so you don't need any sequel. But if you have a sequel, you have some material to work with. So that's why I'm like, oh my god, this is the best way of making a prequel. You don't affect what happens in the timeline after, because your timeline, you choose a great timeline that has nothing to do with what's going to happen 80 years later. So that was really great. But also, you leave the door open for a sequel, because you have some material that you could use for a sequel. But if you don't do it, that's fine as well, because it ends actually in a satisfying conclusion. So that, for me, is how you make a prequel. And because of all of that, I know I have some issues, especially the third act and some stuff. This movie was really a blast, and they had so many great things in this movie. And yeah, I really enjoyed myself a lot watching this movie. So I'm gonna give Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, 8.5 out of 10, guys. I highly recommend you to go watch the Hunger Games if you liked the previous Hunger Games. If you're kind of new to the franchise, I would suggest you to go watch the Hunger Games first, because this one could feel a bit long, you know, because they really explain more what happens behind the scenes than rather what's going on in the actual Hunger Games, and that you could find it a bit long. Anyway, guys, so that was my review for the Hunger Games, The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. What did you think about this movie? Tell me all that on the comment section down below, please. Don't forget to like if you like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace, everyone.